Hero is our new name. Hero is our new name. Hero is our new. Just give me adventure. I'm a contender and more. I will show I'm not just the sponge next door.
All right, I am here backstage at Bosch Wang Theater with Natalie and Sydney. How are you guys doing?
Amazing. I'm so excited to be here. Yes, I'm playing Mrs. Puff, the boating school instructor.
Awesome. What about you?
I'm in the ensemble, probably one of the dancer tracks in the ensemble.
So come on, hero is our middle name. Fixing trouble is our game. Unlocking I won't back down. We're gonna save this town.
So, what brought you guys together to this show? I wonder, how were you discovered, and what's your relationship with theater in general? A little bit about your background, basically.
Sure. So we had a very long audition process, but it was for the right reasons. There's a lot that goes into the show and a lot that's required of everybody. I'm also in the ensemble, so everyone plays multiple parts and multiple roles, I'll say. And this is my first national tour, and I've been doing theater since I was about 5. Yes, this is my first tour and production of this magnitude, so I'm very thankful to be here for this.
Are you from around here? I'm just curious.
No, I'm born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. I've lived in New York for about 7 years, and this is my first time to Boston. So,
So my parents were involved in theater growing up. They're actors as well. So I've just luckily always been surrounded by theater. And I saw the show on Broadway, was obsessed with it, and then amazingly enough got to audition for it and finally be a part of it. The rehearsal process, the tech process, the opening process has all been amazing. It's the most hard work I've ever had to put in. But I'm so happy to be a part of it. It's everything I've wanted to do.
That's awesome. So you guys are traveling right now, right? I am always so intrigued because our show focuses, we interviewed a lot of people from Cirque du Soleil, for example, and I know that it can be tough traveling on the road. Like, I don't know how well I'll do with, with like 2 luggages. Like, what have you, find to be interesting versus challenging?
It's definitely hard to compile your whole life into just about 2 weeks worth of clothes and items and toiletries and stuff, but it's also fun because you find the things that mean the most to you that you can just have throughout a whole year, or things you can pick up in places as you go. I know me personally, I brought too much stuff, so I have to send home a lot of things, but that's been a very fun process, and picking up small things in new cities that I can bring with me too.
I love that. I love that. What about Natalie?
I'll say the same for challenging, but what has been fun, keeping the show fresh and going to these new cities has been really exciting for me. I was concerned with maybe not getting bored, but kind of getting routine, and it hasn't felt routine because every time we go to a new theater, it's like working with new people again. We have the locals that help us, so it's been exciting to be like, okay, it's kind of like a brand new show all over again. So that's been really fun for me.
I'm not American. I actually came to this country when I was 17, and I'm just curious because I didn't actually grow up watching SpongeBob SquarePants, and we started watching more recently. And so, what's your relationship with the show? I mean, did you, or maybe have younger siblings, who absolutely love the show? What's your relationship with the character?
Yeah, I have been watching SpongeBob since it first came out back in 1999, I believe, is when the show came out. So I was around 9 years old at the time, and that's ever since then I've been watching the show. And I always loved Sandy. Personally, she was my favorite character. She's the squirrel. She's played by Daria in this show, and I've just always really connected with her. So it's just been very rewarding, and it shows how everything can go full circle. And now I'm here doing this show for Nickelodeon, and it's just been really a blessing to be here for that.
So good to hear that. Yeah. So,
yeah, I personally grew up watching SpongeBob. It was one of my favorite shows, and I specifically remember being like a little 8-year-old watching it, and I would be thinking to myself, I want to be a part of Nickelodeon in any way as possible. As a small little African American girl, I just want to do anything that I can with this amazing company. And when this opportunity came along, it was like I was a kid again, and I could actually finally see myself living out those dreams that I wanted to do. So growing up on SpongeBob, that's just not it. It's like the whole picture of Nickelodeon in general and how amazing they are and a wonderful family. And to finally say I'm a part of that is like one of the best things I could have ever asked for.
Yeah, I love when you brought up diversity because I think as an audience member, as opposed to the crew member, we just love seeing diversity. I love, especially when it comes to Cirque du Soleil. Every time we interview people, literally, as we're waiting backstage, like 7 different languages going on, and people coming from all over the world. People are married to each other and have children, and like what I never even thought about that for this production. Like what does that maybe translate to, or how you think about it for this show, or maybe for
it's there's a lot of inclusion. The characters are all different. Every character in the show is different and relatable, I'll say. So you've got tall, you've got short, you've got big, you've got small, you've got black, you've got white, you've got everything. And it's just amazing to see how Tina was able to capture that for us.
We've specifically loved the diversity in not conforming to a lot of stereotypes, especially around gender. There's a lot of men that wear sequins. There's men that wear skirts. There's women that wear this and this and that. We don't specifically assign everyone to something that they should be subject to. It's very, very, very diverse, and everyone's so comfortable doing it, and we get to see audiences that one of the first things they're introduced to is a guy across the stage in a tutu. And to some people, it's not their kind of stuff, but all of the audience that we come completely accept that, and it's one of the most amazing things. It kind of makes you think, all right, how can you not like this? How can you have an idea in your mind that doesn't actually accept these things? But we get so many audiences that do accept it.
Speaking of everybody loving the show, I'm discovering that SpongeBob has like these 20 seasons of cartoons going on, and then there's a movie, and now there's Broadway level production. What's in it for kids versus adults? I kind of just want to hear your thoughts on that, for in case there are adults like, is this for kids only? Like, what am I doing there?
There's things that adults can relate to. The themes are adult-like, but any child or adult can appreciate the colors and the special effects that we have, the costumes, the lighting. Everything is going to overwhelm and wow any audience member of any age. So children may not understand every single theme that goes on in the show, but they're going to understand what it feels like to be ostracized from a group. They may have already felt that. So they're going to definitely be able to relate as well as adults. Yeah.
Lovely. Awesome.
A great thing that I think the musical does is it has a lot of references like TV shows and family shows. They have those smaller references that only the adults get, and when the kids get older, then they're like, oh, that show said that and I didn't understand that as a kid. And I sometimes feel that the musical does that a lot. It has a lot of references that go right over kids' heads, or it has something that kids can yell out and react to, or moments that the adults are like, that was funny.
I so look forward to this. Please state your character name again, and actually let people know how to find you, find out more about you, Facebook, Instagram, how to connect.
Sure. My name is Natalie Chapman. I play Mrs. Puff in SpongeBob the Musical. And the best way to probably reach me is my Instagram. It is nat_chat. And that is it.
Awesome. Chat, C-H-A-T, right?
C-H-A-T, yes.
Oh, my name's Sydney Simone, and I'm in the ensemble. And I think the best way to reach me is probably on Instagram as well. It's Sydney, Simone 76. No others, just this one.
Simone, S-I-M-O-N-E?
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right, thank you so much for your time. Oh my God, I can't believe
so much.
I can't wait to find you guys on stage.
Sorry, just so fun to watch how everything comes together.
How many costumes are there? I wonder.
I honestly don't
Oh no,
know.
countless.
A lot.
Yeah. This show is going to be so amazing. I am seriously excited right now. I never thought I would be this interested in SpongeBob. I started watching the cartoon lately. There are like 20 years of cartoons to catch up. There's a TV show, and this is Broadway level, production quality level, musical. Super, super exciting.
So come on. Just give me adventure, I'm a contender and more. I will show I'm not just the sponge next door.
It's the best day
Best day ever.